Good morning. Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. Alright, folks, so we had a great stream last night. Please go watch it if you haven't already. My small channel is growing slowly, one person at a time. One person at a time. And remember, that's really all I'm gearing for. Alright? I spent this morning cleaning. Yes, I know, this probably shows my age, but I'm still on a buzz because I managed to defeat the vacuum. What I mean by that, so I have an awesome vacuum that I was able to get on discount from work, right? Takes up all the key litter, helps a great deal. But, like, all the stuff was getting caught around the top, around the green part. And it made it to the point that it was no longer doing its job. So this morning I got in there with a freaking butter knife, gloves, and basically had to pull it apart, pull it out, and put it in the trash can. But after much perseverance, I have finally defeated the gob that was at the top of the vacuum, and I can now use it as it is intended. So yes, I'm slightly stoked about that stupid little thing that I was able to defeat with the vacuum. Made my life feel a little bit easier. So yeah, actually good day so far. Even though I haven't started playing my video game yet. We'll get to that here in a minute. Alright, folks. In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rothberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's quote-unquote behavioral modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused to comply, so you know the drill, folks. Read that article and share on all your social media. We also have linked in their NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe for We Are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. We also have the pertinent links in regards to the Agape boarding school situation. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called troubled male teens that has, and counting, over 21 substantiated claims, allegations, and civil lawsuits. All claims have been substantiated by the independent investigations carried out by the Missouri Department of Social Services. We have one staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor who's still on the premises with full access to the kids still left, eyeballing prison time after many claims and allegations have been substantiated against him in regards to sodomy and sexual assault and rape of the students there. We have an attorney general so busy sticking his head firmly up Trump's ass that he can't seem to figure out how to do his own job. So, please share those articles, folks. Don't forget to sign and share the change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. We got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, all of them relevant, especially since we are reading the lies of the delusional mind of Matthew Israel. We include Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject that goes into the detail of the 6 deaths laid at JRC's doorstep. We also have linked in there Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet to show the lie that Matthew Israel shocked those kids just when they're aggressive or self-injurious. That's a lie. They would shock you if you point your eyes in the wrong direction. if you breathed in a way they didn't approve of, if you stood up to, like, pull your underwear out of the crack of your ass, you got shocked. If you didn't want to take off your coat, you got shocked. So yeah, Matthew Israel lies. He lies a lot. So please look at that behavioral sheet that comes straight from Jennifer Basemba's tenure at this hellhole. We also have the clip that's only a part, a fucking segment of the 7-hour horrifying ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins. We've got the templates and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of, in spite of what Matthew Israel said, people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please go ahead and use your headphones. This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We talk about dark subjects and we use profanity. So if your child is 16 and younger and they're watching this channel, parental supervision is advised, all right? Okay, it's 12:17. I'm not quite as brain dead as usual, but we all know how I am after cleaning, right? I'm freaking exhausted. So if I stumble over my words, apologies in advance, all right? Another trigger warning. We are about to descend into the rantings of a delusional mind, to quote Gene Wilder. Matthew Israel is one of the most deluded, delusional human beings I have ever even heard of. And I've met some interesting folks. You're going to hear victim blaming, gaslighting, appeals to authority, ableism, just rampant out and out, easily called out and easily proven false lies that he likes to tell about us. So, just be prepared for that. Because I can tell you, I started reading the first sentence and it's a banger. So let's get into it, shall we? In summary, the MDRI report is a false, misleading, sensationalized, and one-sided account of JRC that is worthy only of a tabloid. You've got some balls, doctor. I'll give you that. Their response to New York doesn't actually address a single thing. It's a large document of nothing. It's touting pseudoscience and utopia bullshit that even larger ABA has long ago abandoned. It is debunked by court cases, DESI reports, survivor testimonies, the whistleblowing of Greg Miller. They don't want you to listen to Greg Miller, by the way. They remember when MDRI talked about that source was Greg Miller, a person who was indeed an employee of JRC, a whistleblower who helped bring to light more atrocities than we even knew was actually going on at the time of 2012. So yeah, MDRI was not lying. They did indeed have a source inside the JRC. Funny that, right, doctor? It is not false, doctor. Unless you're going to call all the court cases false. You're going to call the evidence false. You're going to call your own video surveillance, your own website, in your own handbooks false. Also, again, I will draw you to the attention that this is real rich coming from a man who has been caught ordering the destruction of evidence from surveillance cameras when it was demanded of him to be produced in the court case that had to do with the two kids who were shocked over 71 times on a 4-point board back in that time period. In fact, that's the very reason why Israel is no longer directly in charge of the JRC. Funny, isn't it? Oh, but we're the liars. Us, who you use our honesty as a means to bludgeon us. But we're the liars. We're the sensationalizers. We produce receipt after receipt after receipt after receipt after receipt. We produce the parents who have come forward to give the lie to their bullshit. We produce the survivor testimonies and statements. We provide their own actual behavioral sheets, no less. We provide their own descriptions of the bizarre shit that they get up to in their school. But we're sensationalizing. Doctor, if what we are presenting as raw data, raw material, raw evidence comes out and you think it's sensationalized, maybe we're not the ones with the problem here. If it looks bad, folks, it probably is. There's smoke, there's probably a fire. I don't think we actually know, even just barely below the surface, what these bastards get up to. I really don't. I think there's a lot of shit we don't know that if we did would horrify us even more than what we already are. But it's not a serious or accurate piece of reporting or investigation. What is investigating? It's going over evidence, right? And no, I'm not talking about JRC's so-called evidence, which is propaganda that they push out every year, which is a bunch of flowery language, appeals to authority, and complete pseudoscience nonsense that was debunked in the fucking 80s. Yeah, that far back. That far back. It is indeed accurate. And you want to know why it's accurate? Because facts and evidence are accurate. They speak for themselves. They need no introduction. They speak in plain language. There is no sensationalizing at all. If you think facts are sensationalizing something, I don't even know what to tell you. Those must be some really good drugs. Those must be some really good drugs. One fervently hopes that this report is an aberration and not representative of the standards used by MDI for its other work, both on national and international fronts. The balls on this dude, right? So what did MDRI do? They interviewed parents. They interviewed survivors. They pulled through DESI reports. Their own DESI reports. They read the JRC handbook. They went to the JRC website. No, they did not misrepresent what they saw there, doctor. If it looks bad and sounds bad, it's because it's bad. Okay? They did not say that the parents, those comments that they used were in any way depicted of these parents that were actually against JRC. Oh no, to the contrary, doctor, we're well aware of the fact that they drunk your goddamn cult Kool-Aid. Because that's what the JRC is, folks. It's a cult. As most pseudoscience is. Most pseudoscience is a cult. And just because it doesn't have a religious connotation doesn't mean it's not one. The MDRI report is actually straightforward, it's factual, it goes over the evidence, and it dissects the shit the JRC gets up to piece by piece by piece. If the journalists that were covering JD versus AH acted with the same integrity and investigative skills that those who compiled the MDRI report did, we probably wouldn't be in this fucking situation we are with that situation. Now, would we? Those reporters, those advocates, those doctors, those psychiatrists, those psychologists, those masters and doctorate levels that worked on that report have more goddamn integrity than anybody working in journalism right now, point blank, period. Point blank, period. The MDRI report is nothing but a presentation of facts, statements, and testimonies. It is based on video surveillance footage, court cases, evidence, the parents of the 6 dead kids. They did more for journalistic integrity than any of these bastards out here right now. I can tell you that. So which one is it, Doctor? Everybody's lying but the JRC, right? You do not represent us correctly. No, Doctor. We're not representing you in the way that you want us to. We're not buying your bullshit. We see it for what it is. It's pseudoscience. And you use these pseudoscientific terms and utopian bullshit to torture us. What you do is torture. You're trying to use torture as a means to create a utopia of autistic, ADHD, and other disabled people's backs. That's what it is. That's what it is. MDRI did not misrepresent shit. They presented a case based on the facts and evidence at hand. It is a far cry better from anything you'll see in MSN these days. Those reporters could learn a few things reading that MDRI report. I'm going to close out on that because we do got to do another one on Agape immediately following this. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. Do appreciate your time. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you in a few minutes. Bye-bye.